Quick comment about the National Football League. Got great games this weekend, but we're going to zero in on this guy, Jerry Jones is talking about a lot of different issues in the NFL. You never know. It's like the flags at Wrigley Field in Chicago. Which way is the wind blow one day versus the next day? Jerry Jones has come out and is supporting Dan Snyder, the owner of the Washington Commanders, who's under all kinds of heat and all kinds of investigations. And are they selling his team? Are they not selling the team? And Jerry Jones says he is just a believer in the way Daniel Snyder does his business. I don't know if Jerry should be saying that kind of stuff, considering part of Daniel Snyder's business has had to do with all types of sexual misconduct and harassment and toxic workplace culture, convictions, etc. But Jerry Jones popped off out of the clear blue sky. Maybe it's because Jim Irsay is on the other street corner yelling, yeah, we can get rid of that guy. Jerry Jones says he supports Daniel Snyder. The other thing that Jerry said this week, and I just kind of shook my head, he said, I'm in favor of a proposal that we're going to make for an 18-game schedule next year. And I thought to myself, 18 games, the injury count in the NFL is through the roof. Numbers of guys on the IR list, it's historical. There have been 17 of the 32 starting quarterbacks have had major injuries. Now, the fans love it. I do. I'm a football junkie like you. I love watching games. I broadcast games for 17 years. But the injury factor of the players right now is staggering. And he wants to push through an 18-game schedule and reduce preseason down to 2. I don't know if the union's going to buy that. I know there's a lot of money to be made by adding even more games to the equation, just like they added the 17th game, just like they added the wild card playoffs and then expanded on that. But how much is too much, especially the wear and tear factor on these guys? You see how many guys are hurt. When Kyler Murray went down with a ruptured patella tendon, torn ACL, and didn't even get hit. His knee exploded while he was running the football for the Arizona Cardinals. To me, the injury factor is just staggering. Reaction?
It's interesting how the NFL is kind of like the Roman gladiator games, right? Because the fans just love to see these guys get hit, get knocked down. And yeah, to a point, it's brutal. As a season ticket holder, though, you have to buy it used to be you had to buy 4 preseason games, and then you got, 2 preseason games, and then you got 8 home games. And those preseason games were never really worth the money.
And they're worse now than they've ever been.
Yeah. So I remember there was talk of that. Why don't we just kind of, this is like 20 years ago. Why don't we have 18 games and only 2 preseason? So, but Jerry Jones he's an owner. I mean, he's trying to make money. I mean, that's his whole angle to this. The other part of this was in the news with Jerry Jones is something about when he was there in Little Rock when they were trying to the segregation of the schools
1950s.
Yeah, he was involved there, or there were photos of him there. So he's just an interesting character, and you can't back Daniel Snyder. I mean, you just don't go there. What is he doing? Is he just trying to defend the league and the brotherhood of all the owners? You just can't back Daniel Snyder.
It's been a couple of bad weeks for Roger Goodell because of all the insinuations of the cover-up and the fraudulent investigation. And now there is another report that's going to be released by Mary Jo White, who's been the league-assigned investigator, because the last report by lawyer Beth Wilkinson was not made public to anybody except Roger Goodell. And that led to the $10 million fine and the removal of Daniel Snyder as the day-to-day operator of the franchise. But for Jerry just to come out of the closet and say, I'm supporting Dan Snyder, where'd that come from?
Yeah.
Why now at this point in time? So interesting to see.
That's like coming out and supporting Donald Sterling. You just certain owners have crossed gone beyond the pale, and you can't touch them anymore.